Hi, welcome to Real Beer Revolution. I'm Mike. Today we're at Afro in Kenilworth, brewing their hop session. Okay, so for this 27-litre batch of hop session, we used 4.28 kilograms of Golden Promise malt, 187 grams of Cara Blonde malt, 187 grams of wheat malt, and 93 grams of Munich malt. And here we are doughing in, and as always, I like to dough in pretty slowly, so we're adding one bowl of malt at a time and giving it a thorough stir in, making sure that all the grains are coated with water there. And as you can see, at the end of doughing in, it gets much more difficult to stir that mash paddle around, but if you break up the grain, make sure everything gets coated, then your efficiencies will really benefit. And this one had a mash at 65 degrees C for 30 minutes, and then we raised to 69 degrees C for a further 30 minutes, and then we mashed out at 76 degrees C for 10 minutes. And now the mash has come to an end, so we removed the recirculation pipe and the lid, and then we're going to lift up the mash tun and allow all of that wort to sparge down through the grain bed into the kettle. And as always, we're going to do quite a slow sparge, so we're going to pour 1 litre of water into the mash pipe at a time and allow most of that to drop down so it's not visible on the top anymore. So when you're pouring the water over that top mash plate, you want to make sure that you're covering all the surface area to ensure that the sparge is even. Okay, so once the sparge is complete, then you can remove the mash pipe. And we are almost coming up to a boil here, so I just sprayed the top with some water just to ensure we avoided a boil over as we're doing such a big batch on this one. We decided to do a 27-litre batch for this recipe because we had a glass carboy that allowed us to do a bigger size. So now I'm just stirring in all of that protein, all of that foam on the top, and as you can see, now most of that's been stirred in, so I just gave the bottom of the Grainfather a bit of a scrape on that plate just to avoid any sugars burning on the bottom. And we have our first addition of hops, which is 9 grams of Cascade and 10.5 grams of Galena. And they're the 60-minute hop additions. So give them a bit of a stir in and start the timer. So this was a good time to have a beer, and Rochelle poured us a Russian Imperial Stout straight out of the fermenter. So periodically during the boil, you want to give the bottom of the Grainfather a bit of a scrape on that plate just to avoid anything catching. And here we are with 10 minutes to go. In the boil, I paused the timer and we ran boiling hot wort through the counterflow chiller to sanitize it. And once it came back up to the boil, we resumed the timer and added some yeast nutrient and some BrewBrite with 10 minutes to go. Just give that a good stir in. And I gave the bottom plate a good scrape again. Okay, so now we want to drop the temperature in the Grainfather down to 90 degrees C, and to do that we just ran the counterflow chiller with the wort going back into the kettle until the temperature on the Grainfather had dropped to 90 degrees C. And at this point, we added our whirlpool hop additions of 19 grams of Chinook and 19 grams of Centennial. And using the Grainfather whirlpool attachment for the drill, I did a 5-minute whirlpool, and then we did a 15-minute hop stand. So once that 15-minute hop stand was complete, then we ran the counterflow chiller, transferring at 21 degrees C, using the Blickman thermometer to check the temperature. Here we are, just doing a quick final gravity check. And we pitched 2 11.5 gram sachets of US 05 into there. And I was just covering the yeast with the wort so that it rehydrates in the fermenter. We are coming towards the end of the transfer. You can see we got some good oxygen by lifting the hose up high and letting it drop into the fermenter nicely. You can see the bubbles on the top there. And that's it. Popped on the lid, covered it with some foil, and had a good chat with Greg.
So we're here at Afro Caribbean with Greg. We just finished brewing the hop session.
We did.
Tell me about it. Tell me about that beer.
Hop Session.
Yeah.
Hop Session started when I still did the craft beer project.
Wow.
So it was a beer we brewed for one of the craft beer project at Boston Brewery.
Yeah.
And Sean and myself came up with a name. We brewed it at Boston, and then we only did it once there. And then we sold it at one of the festivals we did. It went into the mix case for League of Beers.
Yeah.
And then when we opened, that was a long time ago. That was 4 years ago plus maybe. And then when we opened Afro Caribbean, it's pretty much been our flagship.
So was it your founding beer?
That's pretty much our founding beer. It's after, I think we did it when we homebrewed.
Yeah.
And then obviously before we opened the brewery, we contract brewed it, and then we moved it to the Afro Caribbean range.
Okay, awesome. So and you started out with the
in a garage.
Okay.
As actually, funny how we started was I met Sean and Lucy through obviously having a spot that did craft beer. Sean taught me to brew. We brewed once in his system, and I was like, we need a new system. We can't brew on this cooler box thing.
Yes.
So we built the system behind me, the 50-liter. It was a Brew Magic clone, as I call it. Yeah. We sort of made it ourselves and started brewing in our garage in that, and that's how it all started. Yeah, and then we started Afro Caribbean, built the building, opened the brewery, and
So the brew pub came after that.
Well, at the same time, really.
Right.
You know, we were redoing the kitchen at Banana Jam, and then we decided, well, since we're building a whole new building downstairs, we might as well put a second floor on.
Okay.
And the wife kicked me out of the house and said, go brew somewhere else. So I was like, fine, I'll brew upstairs. So we literally designed the upstairs for the brewery. We had so much space that we actually put the brew pub in as a second thought.
Okay.
We were only going to put a brewery upstairs, and we had so much space, and we didn't want to go that big. We decided, no, we'll put the brew pub in as well.
Cool. So back to this beer then.
Yes.
Shall we crack one open here?
Yeah.
And it's in a can, hey?
It's in a can, finally. It's taken its time.
Nice is that.
It's taken time to get in there, but yeah, it's been a passion of mine to get beer in can for a long time.
I love canned beers. I mean,
You got to put the can right there like that, and then a bit like that. There you go.
get the label in.
But yeah, so something can for me is something I've been wanting to do for a long time. I've always believed can is better than bottle.
Yeah.
It's also not just because it's a better vessel, no light struck, better seal. It's just sexy, you know. I think
you guys are famous for hoppy beers as well. And
and it goes well. Again, you know, I don't think. I think South Africa in general is a long way away from good packaging, and so are we.
Yeah.
But the idea at Banana Jam and our cans is we can fresh, and so if we can on a Friday, we sold out by the next Friday. So we can every Friday basically for the weekend.
Yeah.
So the beer that you're buying here, it hasn't been sitting on a shelf for in a warehouse and then a liquor store for 6 months before you purchase it. You know, the can of beer that you bought at Banana Jam was canned within a week or 2 weeks of you purchasing it, and it's never left a cold room.
Yeah.
So you're going to get freshness. So that's the thing. Cheers.
Cheers.
I need a sip.
Cheers, me too. That's very good. But then you've also got the portability. I mean, how cool is that? You know, you can just grab that, you can throw it in your, in your bag.
Yeah, we brought that back from. We brought a whole bunch of samples of those back from CBC now in the States. There are a lot of different ones. This is quite a heavy plastic. They've got ones that are full biodegradable, that are sunlight biodegradable.
Wow.
They're half cardboard, thin plastic ones. At the end of the day, I feel these are the most plastic, which is not necessarily the best.
Yeah.
It's better than the turtle killers, those plasticky, stretchy ones that you just throw away. These are reusable.
Yeah.
The idea that we want to do here is once we roll them out, if you bring 10 back, you get a free pint.
Okay, awesome.
So you're going to collect them up at home, bring me back a stack of them, I'll give you a free beer or two, and then we can reuse them. So at least there's a recyclability of them is a bit better than just a one-use plastic. So
yeah. And this beer is like super sessionable, eh? It's
this is
and
the hop session.
Yeah.
That was the idea.
It works. It lives up to its name. It's got a nice bit of dry hopping. I think we got two separate editions.
Two separate editions. I think it's a day 7 and a day 9.
Yeah.
We could put double dry hopped on the can. It'd be quite exciting. But no, yeah.
DDH.
Yeah, DDH. So yeah, we like. It's interesting. The hops on this are almost the same as our new IPAs in volume.
Right.
So for a pale ale, it's quite an expensive beer to make.
Yeah.
Because it has the same dry hopping as an IPA.
And it's 4.5%. So
and it's between 4 and 4.8. So yeah. It's my idea of I like my IPAs, but I also like to stand a long time. So I don't want to be falling over at 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So you're talking about falling over. You guys just got back from the States. You mentioned about these coming from the States.
Yeah.
And yeah, their beers are super high.
Your session
ABVs.
beers, they are 6.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I struggled. I think in the States you struggle to well, you can get low ABV beers, but the guys, a normal IPA there is 7.2.
Yeah, 8%.
I know I went to Scofflaw, which is it's a fairly new brewery in Atlanta. They pretty much fuck everything, and I think their pale ales go in at about 6.8.
Oh, nice.
Their IPAs are all 7+, and their double IPAs are 10+.
Wow.
So I actually went there on my first day. So between that and the jet lag, I was down for the count by 8:30 at night.
And you were over for the CBC, right?
For CBC and to visit some friends, things
Okay.
like that. So.
Cool. And how was the CBC? Was it worth going?
Oh yes, if you're in the beer industry and you want to look at new tech, if you want to learn, if you just want to, just by meeting people, you're going to learn a lot. You know, it was really amazing. The beer celebs we met, the people we could just hang out and chat to about problems we have in South Africa, as in things we haven't learned yet, things we want to learn. It was really good.
So you're going to bring a lot of those ideas back in the near future?
I brought literally a case of ideas back. So between brochures and booklets and pamphlets and tech and things like the pack tech stuff and just stuff that I can look at and go, okay, I like this idea, I like that. You're looking at a floor probably 4 times the size of CTICC in Cape Town.
Wow.
It took myself and Sean 2 days to walk the floor, to see everything. 2 full days.
Wow.
It's huge. And they've got everything from a dishcloth that cleans beer glasses really well to a 5 million rand brewery on the floor that you can go and look at and poke around with and everything in between. You know, tap handles, packaging ideas from cardboard to pack tech lids to new kinds of growlers, the thermal growlers and there's if you can think about it, they've even got guys there who will assist you in financing a brewery. So you can sit down with the guys from the banks, and they will look at your business plan, and they'll be able to literally sit with you right there and assist you with finance to open a brewery. It's amazing.
So it really is like a macro for breweries.
Everything, you can't. It's well worth it. It's well worth it.
Awesome. Well, thank you for inviting us here today, Greg. Thanks for sharing this recipe with us.
It's a pity we didn't have Rochelle with us. Rochelle did all the work today.
She's in some of the shots.
I just came to talk shit afterwards because I like to drink the beer and not do any work. But that was great. Cool.
Thanks a lot. Cheers. Thanks.
Cheers.
Cheers.
There we go.